Hello, crafty friends and doll lovers. My name is Melody. Welcome back to my channel. I am here today with the 10th finished project. It's a personal challenge that I made for myself. Basically, I am downloading the free pattern that's available from the pixiefaire.com website on every Friday. So I download that pattern, and no matter what the pattern is, that's what I make that week. A couple of Fridays ago, this was the pattern. It's the little gardener pattern by Forever 18 inches. And in the pattern, it included an apron, a sun hat, gardening gloves, and a bonus seed packet craft. So today my model is a secondhand doll that I purchased, I think, through Mercari. It is one of the Truly Me's. I don't remember which number it is, and I'm actually not quite sure which number it is. So if you know what number it is, leave a comment below. If you know which doll this is, rather, please leave a comment below. Okay, here is my version of the little gardener. And okay, I'm gonna take this hat off here. So this is the back with the crisscross straps. It has a little ruffle feature on the strap. I like that feature. And there's snaps. The straps snap, and of course it ties, the apron ties in the back. And then you have your pocket piece here. You have the ruffles at the hem, which I like because it kind of mimics up here. And then you have the pocket. And then the hat, there was an option for a square brim, and that's the hat that I made. So you have the elastic casing, you have elastic here to help hold it on the doll's head, and then you have the little ties in the back. And I used the same fabric that I used for the pockets to line my hat. In a separate video, I will show you how a technique that I use that gives me perfect pockets each time. And what I mean by that is sometimes when you're pressing your pocket, when you press your seam allowances under on your pocket, sometimes the pocket can get a little skewed. So I have a technique that I've used. I came up with it. It's just something that I was trying because I got kind of frustrated with trying to get the pockets right so I came up with this technique, and I'm going to share it with you in a separate video. Also, you see I have this pocket here. I was planning to use this pocket on the front, and it just didn't feel right. And that may sound funny, but especially when it comes to choosing colors or fabrics to coordinate, it has to feel right. And I will stand in a fabric store. I'll be in the aisle with bolts of fabric and just trying each of the fabrics beside each other until I get that combination that just goes, that's it. It feels right. I don't know if anybody else does that. If not with colors and fabrics, maybe with something else, but it has to feel right. And I played around with this pocket, and I kept going back and forth, and this one just felt better. So I went with this one. The gloves were easy to sew. I will warn you, if you're planning to sew this pattern, the picture on the cover and the picture in the pattern show the ribbing going the wrong way. So the ribbing, the stretch on ribbing, let me see, here's a piece. I got a piece of fabric here, and you might not be able to see it. This is white ribbing, and if you look close, you see these little lines, vertical lines. The stretch is so that the ribbing causes it to be really stretchy. So you want your stretch going this way, not this way. So you notice that the lines are horizontal, and when you stretch, it's not as stretchy, but when you use it this way, it is stretchy. Now the pattern piece tells you, and the instructions tell you to lay the piece on where the stretch is going perpendicular to the ribbing, but the picture shows the pattern going parallel to the ribbing. So be careful if you sew this. You want to make sure you put it on, because you will not get as much stretch if you put it on with the ribbon going around this way instead of up and down. This glove here was my first attempt making the right hand glove. Sometimes I have a problem trusting the pattern, and in this case the pattern was right. When I cut out the right and left pieces, or the pattern pieces for the right and left glove, I noticed that the right back glove was much larger than the right palm glove piece, and I thought it was an error. And I was all ready to contact Pixie Faire to say, I think you might want to take a look at the right back glove pattern piece, because I think it is it's wrong. And the other thing is, what I noticed was this was larger than even the palm and the left back glove pattern piece. So on the left back glove pattern piece, and I didn't think to bring that with me during the video. If you look at those two pieces, the right back glove and the right palm glove, or the left back glove and the left palm glove, pretty much line up. The edges of the pattern line up, but the edges of this pattern don't. So what I learned is that the right hand on an American Girl doll is larger than the left hand on an American Girl doll. I did not know that before. I don't know why that is. If you happen to know, please leave a comment. So when I made the first glove, I corrected it. I laid the left back glove pattern on the right back glove, and I trimmed it down to match. And this is what I got, and as a result, this does not fit. This glove does not fit this right hand. The pattern was right. When you're sewing this, if you decide to make this pattern, you're going to line up your fabric pieces so that the edges match. And when you sew, my suggestion is to sew with the larger piece down on the feed dogs, because as you are sewing, you're going to line up, and as you get to this piece, this extra fabric, the feed dogs will help to ease the fabric out. It doesn't look like it will work, but it does. And I had no problem. The other thing that I learned in this pattern, and I will use it, I know I will use this for other in other applications. They suggest shortening the stitch length to the smallest stitch length that your machine, the smallest that your machine will sew. Now, I did mine at the smallest, and I felt like it wasn't moving hardly at all, and I felt like I got a lot of thread bunching. So I did lengthen it a little bit more. I think I ended up around 0.7. I can't remember, but my stitch length was smaller than the 1 millimeter. It was below 1 millimeter, and the normal stitch, the default stitch length for my sewing machine for a straight stitch is 2.5. I think it's 2.5. So when you shorten the stitch length, then the feed dogs don't move the fabric. It moves it in smaller increments, so you can maneuver around these curves. I had no problem sewing a curve. So I think I'm going to use that technique. I never thought about shortening the stitch length to allow you to sew around tight curves like that. But I did it. It turned out beautifully. I love how these gloves turned out. I love how this outfit turned out. The hat is adorable. It's a little fiddly to get on, and it might be because of the amount of hair on this doll. But I think this is definitely, it says an intermediate level, and I would agree it is intermediate because you're dealing with gathers. When you're making the ruffles, you have to gather, and gathering can be a little fiddly. Trying to get the gathers even. It's not one of my favorite things to do, but I persevered, and this is what I got. Other than that, I'm not sure why it's, well, I guess I am. It is, I would say if you're a confident beginner, you might be able to tackle this project as well. Okay, so that is, we're done with this one. This is number 10 finished. Now, this is the next project. This pattern was released the day before yesterday. And it is the Frog Princess Fashions. It's the Waikiki Waves dress for 18-inch dolls. And it says it's a sleeveless, it's two versions. It's sleeveless or short sleeve. So you have the short sleeve version here and the sleeveless version on this side. And I like this. This says easy to stitch princess seams, no darts, no buttons, no zippers. This is my type of pattern, y'all. I'm not sure which version of this I'm going to make, and I'm not sure what fabric I'm going to use. Nothing that's currently in my fabric stash really speaks to me as far as this dress. So I will probably have to make another trip to the fabric store. The other thing I do want to let you know that this upcoming week I will not have access to my sewing machine. Therefore, I will not be able to sew the project. But the following week, when I do the video, I will do this pattern and the other pattern that will be released this upcoming Friday. So it'll be probably two projects unless I get access to my sewing machine and have time to sew it. But it looks like I'm not going to have access to my sewing machine this week. So you won't be seeing a video with a finished project next Sunday, but you will be seeing a video with two finished projects the following Sunday. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.